Okay. Oh, my camera's pointing way up today for some reason. There we go. Okay. So, as we were just discussing, uh, we left off. Well, let's just go over what happened so far. So, um, what are the character names again? I'm pretty sure it's like Cairo and yeah, you're Cairo
Yeah, Cairo and Mari.
and Marie. I think she was going by Marie.
Marie. Okay.
So Cairo, being a detective, um, was wandering
You forgot the word
around.
hotshot.
Yeah. The hotshot detective who I almost forgot. Tried really hard to get himself killed in the first session. Thinking I'm gonna just take on
Because
this buffalo.
you messed up how stats or something was gonna work, so
It was
It
still
did.
hardly regardless.
Yeah. I don't know if you can really justify it that way because, like, the fact of the matter is you just decided, you know what, I'm gonna take on this buffalo.
it's what his character would do.
Anyway, so that being said, you survived this beating um, with more bruising than anything. It didn't actually end up trying to kill you. After which point you bumped into Marie. Yeah, you guys, because yeah, the when the bison got loose, she was there, right?
Yes, I just gotten out of the breeders and picking up my first Pokemon.
Yes, that is right. And your first Pokemon is.
Minchino.
Oh yes, Mincino. Forgot about that. And Mincino is about 9 months old. Same level as somehow is the same level as Cairo's trained Pokemon. Sweet Potato.
I could have sworn she rolled badly on it,
Did
which
she? Oh yes, she did. Level 2 to level 5. You are correct. Your trained Pokemon is more experienced.
yeah.
Um, we
So
do.
RNG worked out in lore.
Yeah. I do need to at some point. I'll make a note of this. I do need to give Julie a actual combat move, regardless. Um, Probably not going to be one that you'll be able to control much, but she does need some defensive something.
Um,
Sweet Potato looks good. He's got, or she, he or she. I don't see a gender on it. Did I give genders?
I don't know.
I did not.
I
I
I
don't see. Oh, gender, female. Yep, she.
yeah.
They're just further down. I don't know why I put it further down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It might have been
She.
me because there was no like rolling for it. It was just yeah. I want the be female.
Oh,
So I don't know.
I put it down that far. I'm looking over at Julie, and hers is in the same spot. We did not roll for
Okay.
Julie's height and weight, which is fine. I'll just deal with that later. Um, Everything looks pretty good setup wise, so you guys are good there. So back to what we were talking about. Marie had just gotten her Mincino from a breeder, right? You guys at that point heard, or no, that's when you guys were fighting the Taurus, right?
yep.
And then Cairo went home, tried to recover, felt better, decided to go for a walk, left Sweet Potato at home. You guys ended
No,
up.
sweet potato came with me. We went on a little jog
Oh, yes,
together.
yep. Because that's when you ended up hearing the screams, right?
Yep.
So then you heard the screams, you worked your way
They
up.
met first. They met at the park.
Ah, yes. You bumped into each other there at the park. And as you were leaving, you guys heard the screams, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we went. I went to investigate. Told her to call for backup because I left my Poke gear at home. She decided to follow, and we investigated and found a nearly dead woman just lying there.
Horribly
And
beat up.
I, gave respectable first responder the care and took care of her until medical team took her away. I
Mhm.
continued investigating for a little longer, didn't really find a whole lot. Decided to head up to the hospital to get some questioning done and check up on her immediate condition. And
That's where you guys met up again, right?
yep.
But this time you did not have Sweet Potato with you. So after somewhere in
Oh,
there,
correct.
you went home and left her at the apartment.
Yeah. So I think I went home to the apartment, gathered my stuff because I was half naked, because I used my shirt as bandages for her. So got all dressed and everything, left Sweet Potato home to go to the hospital and attempted to do some questioning, and then we were allowed in to see the woman, to find out that she wasn't even in that room we were told to go to, and then the doctor showed up and tried to attack us with a bunch of frogadier, I believe.
Tried to detain us.
Yeah, and
I think we were mid escape, was where we left off.
Yep.
yeah, kind of a
Like,
terrible place to stop if you. But
well, no, it's actually a good place to pick up, especially where we want to make sure we're all on the same page.
yeah,
So let me just read off where we were. You were literally making a break for the exit, keeping eyes out for other surprises, his hands at the ready to use any of his tools at his disposal. All right, so let's because in my head the door wasn't more than like a short sprint, so I don't
hmm
see anything stopping you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick up with you being outside of the Poke Center. Um, maybe not right outside the front door, but in the street out front of the Poke Center.
hmm
Did you guys get my screen share?
Oh, uh, yeah, just a second.
Blah.
Here we go. Yo, we got coordinates?
Yeah, somehow my old file is gone. So I don't even have the old file that we were using.
Yo, on the DH? Let's go.
So, but this one will help a little bit, I think, just because
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be able to tell where we're talking about. And as I had described previously, like this, in this world, we don't want to take up a whole lot of space with buildings, horizontally anyway. Vertically is fine. So these
hmm
buildings are fairly spaced apart, but
There's a
oh,
question. Are we actually on the first floor?
yeah, you guys,
Okay.
yeah,
Because if not, I would have jumped out a window.
yeah. No, I just had this vision where you were on the first floor. So,
Okay.
and then over here, wow, this thing is really freaking frustrating to draw with right now. Well, my software for this
Yeah.
is gone too. That's the other thing.
That's probably my goal at some point in this roleplay is to jump out a window.
Oh,
Yeah, just to say that I did it.
I mean, Phoenix could have done that. It would have invalidated the use of the ship, but you could have jumped out the front window. And then I'm going to put just a smaller building right off the side here for now. Okay. All right. So you guys are out here in the street somewhere. Let's get a fountain. There's a little fountain here. About right there. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna say you guys are like ah. Oh my god, seriously. Oh, it's doing that thing again. Where I can't. Just gonna draw with my mouse for now. Okay, that's where this is where you guys came out and where you're at. Roughly. I'm gonna say this one was the Poke Center. Which is also the Pokemart and the all that other crap. Visitors center where, you'd pick up a room for the night and all that, so that way you're not
Okay.
sleeping in the streets and stuff. So, what do you guys do? You made it out of the Poke Center. You were just attacked by a doctor and some Frogadiers, and the lady that you were there to visit, apparently, if I remember right, they basically said she's not there or something afterwards.
Or at least in the room.
Yeah, in the room, the doctor's like, yeah, she doesn't exist. And then he attacked you.
Mm-hmm. Well, even though we are outside and currently away from danger, probably not the safest place to, chit chat about what to do next. So probably wanna keep moving. My instinct would be to go back to my apartment. To collect sweet potato. And in the meantime, would potentially call in to the force about what's going on.
Okay. Marie?
Um,
You broke up. What did you say?
um,
Oh, like it
uh,
was, that's. I thought that's might be what you said, but it was like,
yeah, I don't think I had this headset last time. I don't remember when I got it exactly, but the mic tends to either pick up my every breath or decide to start in the middle of me talking. But anywho. I mean, I feel like Marie wouldn't know what to do at all because this isn't any part of the life she's led.
right.
Like, she probably would be scared to go home because they took all our information. But I don't think she'd have any kind of backup plan or anything because this is not something she would have ever really had to think about.
Right.
Okay, so instead of like, since it makes for my character to
Yeah, I
immediately
mean,
go into like, what he needs to do and everything. So, seeing as, you know, for lack of a better description, you're a normal person. If
Civilian.
you're
civilian.
not, yeah, civilian. So you're probably panicking or something. So
Right. Would Cairo notice that though? He's kind of, if I remember right, your description of him is he's kind of self-absorbed.
well, yeah, he's primarily focusing on himself, but you know, I'm just throwing out there what.
Right, but I'm not gonna just assume your characters talk to each other about this. Like, if you're not talking to each other about this, you're not talking to each
Right,
other.
right. No.
So,
So Cairo has no idea what she's doing or how she's acting currently because it's not,
right.
actively looking for that.
So, that being said, I think it's on Marie to say something or not say something or.
I mean, she probably wouldn't say anything, but if he went to leave, she probably would follow for the moment. He just
Oh, okay.
all she knows is that he was keeping her safe, and like,
I have
Yeah, and
I have like this headcanon of a Dory moment where you guys are all walking to his apartment and he's like, "What the fuck?"
oh, yeah.
Like, why
I
are you
mean,
following me?"
he wouldn't be completely oblivious to her
Right. No,
following
that's
him,
fine.
but it's like at least while I'm calling in, I wouldn't really acknowledge too much about it, but once
Yeah, once you're done with the call, you're
once
like,
I make the
"What's up?"
report and I end the call, assuming that all goes normal, ooh, what would he do? Obviously I'm still. I wouldn't say I'm like rushing or anything. A brisk walk. Seeing as we're not being chased at the moment.
Right.
So a brisk walk towards my apartment and this is a tough I'm not sure what to say.
Well, let's start with the report. So,
Okay.
looks good. So, you don't have Pokegear with you, do you? No, you did. You stopped and picked it up, right?
Yeah. So I have the Pokegear, which is how I can make the report.
Right.
I pretty much have all, or at least most of my gear on me. It's not sweet potato or anything.
Right. So, I actually had planned for that phone call to not go the way you wanted.
Okay.
So basically, when you call, you they act like they don't even know who you are. You don't work there.
Well, I would, obviously it would be a pretty rushed start to the conversation, officer, Cairo, blah blah, whatever. So for them to dismiss me away like that,
Yeah,
I would
like it's basically when
I
you
would
call, and you give them your name and badge number and stuff. They're like, that badge number doesn't exist. It's been disabled, or I'm not showing it in my system. I don't have any way to verify your name or your badge number.
Can I tell what kind of tone I'm getting off from?
Like the
I'm assuming
person's
the
oblivious.
receptionist or what?
Yeah,
Okay.
the operator, or
Uh,
not.
Yeah, the
It's not like the
operator.
911 operator. Like you're calling a work number,
Right.
but
Right.
they're not, like, they don't know you. And it, like, there's enough officers that you can assume that they're not, like, purposely saying they forgot who you are or whatever. Like, there's enough officers that the operator might not actually know who you are, especially because in your
Right.
background
Right.
you're new to the area, or new-ish to the area, from what I understand. Not super new, because
Well,
you have friends.
It's not that I'm necessarily new. It's just I don't make friends.
Yeah.
Or don't make them very easily.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name was, but I would probably ask to be transferred to the guy I made a bet with.
Did we have a name for him?
I don't know.
Let me scroll real
But-
quick. Evolution City.
We would at least know each other enough that he would be able to straighten this up if there was some sort of just random mix-up.
Right. It's got to be near the start of the freaking thing, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I have like Mark in my head or something.
I don't see us naming him. I just said that you made a bet.
Okay. Well, name doesn't overly matter.
Yeah.
Unless we want to,
Bring
give
him
him
back.
a name now. Right.
Yeah, just whatever. Let's give him a name now.
Matthew.
Matthew. I can remember that. Watch, next week I'll have forgotten that. Okay, so Matthew, you asked to be transferred to Matthew.
Yes.
The operator says I can relay a message, but without being able to verify your identity, I can't give you. I can't forward you to an officer's number or an officer's line.
Then I would tell them to inform Matthew or give Matthew my personal number and to call me as soon as he can, and that would probably be it that
Okay.
I would say.
Okay. So as you're going to hang up, you notice that you're actually receiving a call from Matthew as you're getting ready to hang up.
That was quick. So I go answer it.
Okay. So you go to answer it, and like immediately, as soon as you answer the phone, he's like in a panic, like, "What's going on? I just had some I don't know what the equivalent of like FBI would be. I don't know.
Well,
The Pokemon Bureau of Investigation, PBI.
yeah.
The PBI were just here. They're asking all kinds of questions about you. Your badge has been suspended, etc., etc., etc. What's going on? What happened? Tell me what's going on.
I would probably trying to insist he slows down and take things one step at a time, because I have no idea what is going on either.
What do you mean I'm suspended? Okay.
I have no clue why I'm suspended or anything. I was just attacked at the Pokemon Center.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. They were just here saying you had assaulted a lady, and that you were kidnapping some girl, and you're trying to leave town, and your badge has been suspended, and they're looking for you. They're trying to get you in custody before you get out of here.
Dear Arceus.
Isn't it Arceus?
It
That's
really
that's
is.
Cinnamon
It's
question.
yeah.
I've always heard it pronounced Arceus.
Interesting.
So I was gonna talk about you pronouncing it Minchino
Oh,
or Mincino or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's always difficult knowing the correct pronunciation of Pokemon.
You can't know
Up
because
until
of
recently,
you can't really know because of dialect differences and like
right?
translation issues unless you've actually heard it said, and then even then it's the tomato thing, I feel like.
Right. So up until recently, it's been Arceus. Like in the anime, Ash or whoever says Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
But with the more recent games and stuff, due to Type Null having a strong connection to Arceus, that he was like an artificial attempt at making like a
They
duplicate
tried to
or
clone another
Arceus or whatever.
legendary. Huh, I haven't heard that
Yeah.
story before.
His ability is the RKS system. Those 3 letters. So it's like, oh, I guess that's how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Maybe. I don't know.
But anyways,
I always
I
called
would
him
probably
Mincino. I always called him Mincino because I after C makes it a S sound, but double C I guess cancels that, and I never really like put the two together.
so I always said Minchino. So it's like Minchino and Cinchino or whatever.
Honestly, judging by the spelling in English, it should be Minxino. Honestly, Minxino, because the C makes a
Yeah.
K, CI makes an S, so Minxino. So therefore, according to English pronunciation, it should be Cincchino and Minkchino, which sounds like coffee.
Right. Anyways, so I would probably
I Googled and it
Tell
says
Matt.
Minchi now.
Minchinow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Minchineow.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
I'd probably tell Matthew to not tell them anything else until we get this straightened out, because everything he's been told is a lie. The so-called girl that I kidnapped is right here,
So you are kidnapping her.
able- No, she can leave whenever she wants to. She's just following me because she's, in was in this mix up as well, so she doesn't feel safe.
Okay, I would recommend not going home. They're going to be at your home waiting for you. You need to get out of town.
But that would only make me more guilty.
Getting arrested is going to make you less guilty?
If I turn myself in, I would lend more reason to my story.
Then if you're going to turn yourself in, why are you running?
I'm not running from the cops. I'm running from the psycho who tried to, randomly,
It's not a coincidence that they tried to attack you and now they're trying to arrest you? These are not the same people? I don't understand what's going on then.
Okay, so we went to see the woman that was, that we found injured in a cave, and I went to check up on her and question, anyone else and whatnot, to get my report. And she wasn't there, and we were ambushed by the doctor and his goons of grenadiers. Brigadiers, that's it. Mixing the names up. So we had to escape the Pokemon Center. And now apparently I've been suspended for crimes that I did not commit.
Okay, Cairo, I need you to focus for a second. I know this is hard for you. But these are not unrelated incidents. There is a group, obviously, that is running this. I need you to put the pieces together, because the people that are after you are not different from the people that are after you.
Thanks for, explaining it like I'm a 2-year-old.
You've been you have been, right? Let me check your backstory real quick. You have been on an investigation that you got punished for recently, didn't you? Like you were digging
No.
too deep into something and they didn't want you to?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you had.
The backstory that I gave you was that I was investigating, and I was basically the main reason they found the culprit, and whether I was actually acknowledged for it in the public's eye or not, I have no clue, because we opened up on some other guy getting, all the credit to some sort of investigation.
That's right. I gave the credit to somebody else. Hang on. I'm pretty sure, because you were upset in my intro. I forced you to be upset. On the other side of the city, near one of the congratulating him. Not Cairo. In fact, Cairo was at the back at the station trying to figure out how to get an edge on a bet he had made. So it didn't. The bet didn't have anything, or the promotion didn't have anything to do with you. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but in my head I had it like you were investigating this case, and it was one that people didn't want you to investigate. You were kind of forced into stopping.
Yeah,
Either way.
so
Either way.
I don't know how much my background that I wrote up made into the actual story, because
Well, I'm looking at yours. Yours is pretty Ever since Cairo was young, every Pokemon he'd grown attached to wound up dying for one reason or another. As a result, he now believes he is cursed and refuses to have Pokemon of his own. He is now currently working as a detective, trying to do the best he can to lower Pokemon-related abuse. So yours is just about not letting people abuse Pokemon.
Right, but then there was, I guess I didn't write it down because I wasn't sure if, or whatever, but the one of his recent investigations, the one that he cracked down on, you know, whatever illegal, I think it was like illegal, Pokemon fighting.
Mm-hmm. I remember we
There
had
was an egg.
conversation about it. Yeah, and you have an
Right, so there
egg.
was an egg, and I took it because I didn't want it to, you know, grow up with
Right.
the police force, because that's what they would have done with it.
Right, and I like you
I
have
have
the
egg.
egg. You have the egg. It just we don't have that written anywhere, which is fine. But
Is it on me, or
yeah, you
I-
have
I
it
would
in your
assume it-
gear. If you look in your gear, you have an egg.
well, yeah,
I'm assuming
I
it's
was
not
more,
just like an edible egg; it's an egg.
well, yeah, I was just wondering if it's small enough, then yeah, it would be on me, on my
Oh,
person right
No,
now.
it's
But
probably
if
at your
it's,
home. Probably at your home on an
yeah,
incubator.
that's what I was worried about.
Yep.
As now both my starter Pokemon and my egg are
Your backup starter Pokemon.
confiscated.
Yep.
Because
So
if I'm suspended, that means I no longer have the right to even use Sweet Potato, because she was given to me by the Force.
would you want to leave Sweet Potato behind and not get in trouble for taking her?
Honestly, I would be like, the first thought in Cairo's head would almost certainly be the egg. Because if they were to find the egg, would not be openly just on a shelf or anything. It
No,
would be
you would have an incubator, and that's canon technology. Like they have
Right.
incubators, which
but it would not
I'm gonna
be
go
in
off
plain
on.
sight.
I'm gonna go off just a little bit. In this, not every Pokemon lays eggs. Some of them are mammals and have mammalian
Right.
births and all that crap too. So your egg is
Yeah.
either a lizard type or a bird type,
Correct. Which
makes it an
I
edible
do
egg
have.
too, by the way.
Yeah. I do have an idea of what I would want it to be, but I don't know if I have any choice in the matter. But the first thought in his mind would be the egg, because if they find it, then they would actually have real dirt on me, you know, instead of just made up shit.
Right.
Um,
But so you're still on the phone with Matthew, and he's telling you don't go home. How
Right.
well does Matthew know you? I mean, you'd have difficulties. You said you have difficulties making friends, which is fine.
we're probably,
But
if I had to,
difficulties is
if I
not
had to-
impossibility.
right. If I had to make the decision, it would be like somewhere between acquaintance and friend. It's
Well,
like
he would
we're
know.
good coworkers.
He would know that there are things that you need from your home, right? And he would know where to find you if he had to. I mean, unless he went into like deep hiding, but he would. I mean, he probably
So-
knows you well enough to know where to find you, right?
He would probably go to the Tauros farm.
But Cairo knows him well enough to know that that's what he would think, right? I mean, like you guys know each other enough
Maybe.
to know that that's
Yeah.
that's the thought process you each would have, right? So when he tells you don't go home,
Okay. Then I would probably make some vague comment of like, I left the kettle running with a very awkward tone.
I can't just leave town. I left my stove on. A very incubative temperature. Okay.
Right. Trying to give him the cue, and he would probably know that kind of stuff. So I would assume he responds in a similar-ish manner of
Don't worry, I'll be going for a
understanding.
ride soon.
Okay. All right, I'll probably just end call then, say, see you later or whatever.
Do Pokegears have GPS devices? I'm assuming so because they have integrated maps.
They usually blink with where your location is on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So after I hang up, I pop out the batteries.
And just yours or both or?
I would do it from mine and then inform her to do the same.
Marie?
I mean, I guess I would.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering if
Obviously,
you're gonna type a rushed letter to your parents or something first, or like, don't worry, I'm in a lot of danger. I will be okay.
I mean, that
yeah,
just puts suspicion on them.
Do what?
That just puts suspicion on them.
Okay.
All right. So I quickly
Destroy
change
both of
direction.
destroy both of the devices, and you change directions, and you head probably east, west, wherever.
Promptly out the city.
Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go with. Remind me of how I described the city. Where are we on a coast? I've done this campaign like 3 different times. I can't remember. Like twice we've been on a coast.
Exactly 3.
I don't think you've I don't know if you've actually described where it's situated, and if you did, it would have been like one of the first messages.
I'm at the first message. The city is home to a few thousand. It is positioned high in the mountain range near a large mine. It's a foresty region, and much of the wildlife consists of deer, rodents, and foxes, and the like. The city is home to one of the 8 gyms. So all I put is that you guys are high in the mountains. Okay. So
yeah, the farm would presumably be, near the summit of the mountain, I would assume.
yeah, I'm not gonna draw
If
like
not
I'm not gonna draw like a continent map right now. I'm just,
or a
like this would be. It'd help if I wasn't erasing.
some sort of plateau area.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that this is the well. We don't really want that color. We want like a brown or dirty color. This will be roughly the city setup, right? And
Okay.
we got some buildings in here. So like that's your Poke Center, and then over here would be the apartment complex that you lived in. So probably police station over here somewhere. Your little Tauros. We're just gonna call this a livestock area of some kind, where they have Miltanks and Tauroses and all that crap. Some kind of something, and like a gym. They've got the gym because I said that it's got a gym here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of the layout of the city. It's not like like I said, the cities aren't super big, but this is pretty close to your layout. Can I drop her in some brown and like? Haha! It's got a ring for some reason, but that works. I'm okay with the ring. Okay, so from there over here, we'll do a road in. Yeah, we'll do the road in brown still. So there's a road that kind of leads into the mountain pass, and then over here there's another kind of road that leads into the mountain pass, and off of this one, this is where you went into that cave. So this is like hilly stuff, hilly terrain. Let's grab some different ground for the hills. This is your hilly terrain, right? My mountain peaks are shitty. Sorry. There. Some kind of hilly stuff over here. Then over here, as you move this direction, this is foresty area. It's not letting me draw lines, I'm sorry. Okay, but over here it kind of turns more into grassland. Okay. And I'm obviously not doing any of it to scale because, like, this would be miles of travel south to get into the grasslands. And probably from here goes off into another city. Here goes off to another city. So it transitions from like a foresty area to a grasslands as you head south. Right?
Okay.
Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I will try to draw up a actual continental or regional design of some kind. But for now, that should do, right? Yeah. Okay. So, which way are you heading? I mean, you're obviously camping out over here somewhere for now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that is not good. Okay. So we're gonna say like a couple hours go by and you don't hear from Matt at all. You find a nice little, I don't want to say a cave, but you find like a nice little rocky covering to hide out in for the night, and then you figure if he doesn't show by morning, you guys are gonna just leave or something, whatever you come up with.
Okay. That sounds reasonable.
So, sitting there in this cave by yourselves, waiting, and you don't know what's going on. What are you doing? You've got a scared. How old is Marie? We established she's like 18.
Young adult.
Oh, she's
Something.
23. She's a little older than that. Okay, so
Like, I can find it somewhere, but I hadn't found it yet.
it's on your character sheet. I didn't scroll far enough.
Yeah, I went.
Part of it is I was in Julie's and I was like, she's not 9 months old. Like, that is what? No, you're 23 and this is your first time outside of your parents, guidance and working in their shop and stuff, if I remember correctly, right?
Yep.
So, but this is your first time being in and you don't even know yet. He didn't say anything to you about there being feds after you and stuff.
I just know
Did
scary,
Gibby? Yeah.
and that they know where I live.
Yeah, you're like, I just got attacked by people?
After they asked me a bunch of questions.
Yeah. So you're stuck in this not a cave with this 23-year-old girl who's obviously trying to adjust or trying to cope.
Yep.
So there's no conversation or anything? I know I'm bad at this, but I'm a police officer and I really should probably.
So when we settle down, find a place to sit down and relax a bit, at least inform her of the current situation. We're waiting here for my friend to hopefully deliver some stuff that was left at my apartment, and that apparently been suspended for assault and kidnapping. And that now we're being chased by, or I'm being, currently on the lam, I guess, or whatever Pokemon equivalent.
The Pokemon Investigation Bureau.
Well, no, I meant on the lam, because there's no lambs.
Oh.
But anyways, Huh? Flaffy. They're more though.
Yeah, I almost said Marie, but I'm like, that's less.
But anyways, on the lam, and in basically trying to reassure her that if
we have terrain,
that even though kind of in the dark of what exactly is going on, that most likely she's not actually in trouble. Based off of the lie they've made up towards me, that would imply that she's the girl I kidnapped, and it just means they're looking for you to rescue, even though I kidnapped you.
That depends on how much trust you or faith you put in their story, though.
Right, so
because they could be saying they're trying to rescue her just so that way they can get her in custody.
Yeah,
right,
we're also trying to detain me as well.
I wouldn't do anything until we talk with Matthew, if he even shows up.
Right. So,
But no Sweet Potato, even if he,
Do you have any wilderness skills?
I don't think I have any skills. Yeah, I just have gear.
It's hard to say that you wouldn't have, though. It's hard to say that, like, as a ranger detective, you wouldn't have some wilderness skills. So, roll a
No,
100.
and
Roll a 100.
especially if I had connections with the farmer.
Right.
Um,
Roll a 100.
where
Yeah.
should I roll?
Let's do them in the OOC for this one.
Okay. Do I?
Or I can make a dice rolls one real quick.
No, I don't.
Where'd it go?
I've heard. Yeah.
Dice rolls.
Okay.
Got it. Welcome to Dice Rolls. Why did our dice roller not work here? Do I need to give
Because
him
he's not in the
permissions?
channel.
Yeah, I gotta give him permissions. Edit channel permissions. Add members or roles. Dice Maiden, join my channel, please. Need you. How about now? Rolled a 64. All right, we're gonna say that you found some just generic berries and no real
Some
water.
orange berries.
No real water here. Kind of meats. What kind of meats would we eat? Nah, you didn't find any meats. You found.
Sparrow.
Huh?
I found a sparrow and
I feel like
Correct,
sparrows would
okay.
not be edible the way that Pidgeys would.
I mean it would be the same thing as just finding a pigeon who is probably not the safest thing to eat, but
Yeah,
you
but
can.
I was thinking more like ground animals like rattatas or
Oh.
lollapunnies or. But berries is fine. You find some berries. After your conversation and you freaked her out and you're like, yeah, this is what's going on, and you decide to take a little walk. So you find some berries, come back for dinner.
Honey, I'm home. Have a berry.
You guys are almost the same age. I didn't realize that when we were making characters.
I'm 26.
Okay, I need a minute. I gotta go. I need to take a break.
Okay.
Okey-doke.
I'm gonna get some water. Scared her.
Sorry, I'm back now.
Welcome back.
Is Sinaway still here?
Yeah.
Okay. So dinner, you guys. I'm assuming decide to sleep afterwards.
Is it cold?
Find out.
Roll a d4.
That's exactly what I
season
was
is
gonna
it?
do. Season 3. It's early fall. It's early fall. So no, not really.
Okay. Well, I'd probably not really go to sleep, sort of keep in watch.
Okay. So you're gonna stay
Not
up
like
and keep watch.
sort of like not necessarily alert. It's not like we're in danger, but more of the I'm not actually going to go to sleep. I'm more just gonna sit there and maybe close my eyes. But I'm
You wake up 4 hours later. Just kidding. Okay.
trying to be a
So I'm gonna have
audience.
you, if that's what you're gonna do, I'm gonna have you roll to see if you actually fall asleep, because that happens.
Okay.
So
Sure.
anything below like let's look at your willpower. Anything below your willpower is a success. You don't fall asleep. You just relax and rest.
Willpower 45. Okay. Well, time to embarrass myself.
Stay mostly awake for a while and then you fall asleep. What about Marie? Does she decide she's going to sleep or?
I can't imagine she would try to stay up, really.
Okay.
The
She'd
real
just be
question is,
worn
can
out.
she manage to go to sleep
Yeah.
with all the tension?
I mean, that's 50-50 because like some people with that much stress they can't sleep, and then there's people like me where it's like when I get super stressed, I'm gonna take a nap because I can't not sleep when I'm stressed. So it's
Fair enough.
either or. So you're gonna try to stay up as well, or you're
I can't imagine she would.
you're just gonna go to sleep.
She's worn out.
Yes. So that basically means she goes to sleep. I'm probably up for a few extra hours, but
Yeah.
either dozing off or actually
Okay.
passed out at some point.
You get woken up slightly before. Well, I shouldn't say slightly. A few hours before dawn. So late fall or early fall. That'd be probably 3 or 4 in the morning. You get woken up by Matthew, and he's got with him 2 backpacks, full of just generic camping gear, as well as some of your important stuff,
Okay.
including your
Doesn't
egg.
sound like a euphemism at all.
All right. So I got my egg and whatever else gear that I
Yeah,
wasn't packing.
he brought sweet potato with him as well. Yeah.
I would. So I wouldn't be necessarily mad or anything, but I would have like almost a concerned, disappointed tone. Because again, the sweet potato is. I would try and make excuse as sweet potato is with the police force. She's owned by the police force, so by keeping her on me lends more weight against me, but can't complain having
basically,
her along to.
basically he tells you that whatever's going on here isn't that clean. So you're gonna need some a Pokemon that you're comfortable with to take with you.
Yeah.
Like he basically says, I can see that this isn't what actually, you know, what actually is going on. There's something else going on here, and you're way deep, so you need as much help as you can get, and this is the only help I can give you.
Right. Well, I'd give him a wholehearted thank you, and I owe you one after all this.
Keep your head down, and then he starts heading out to leave.
Is Sweet Potato awake in the
Yeah,
ball?
he's in the Pokeball. She's in the Pokeball.
Okay.
Also, I should mention, like, he didn't say anything about Marie, and he didn't wake her up either. So
Right. So I would put Sweet Potato on my belt and do a little check-in on
we need to come
what
up with
was
a
in the
list.
bags.
We need to come up with a list of stuff that would be in the bag.
I mean, we can start off with, what's, my gear if I have, uh, do I still have my handcuffs? Do I still have
No.
my briefcase and baton?
Baton, yes.
Probably not the briefcase since I'm carrying my backpack at the
Yeah, he
moment.
didn't bother pack you up a backpack or a briefcase. Let's see. Travel first aid kit, you would have that in your bag. No handcuffs. Definitely, you'd probably still wearing your trench coat after you changed. No Pokeballs. Would you still have a styler? Would he bring you your styler?
Well, I had the styler on hand.
Oh, that's right. You used it in the. Yep.
The real question is if I did I mention the baton at all. If not, then that would be in question if I had it. But I would assume I would have it if I brought my styler.
Yeah, it's probably something you packed with you. So you probably would have your handcuffs too, because those would be on your person as well. If you're wearing your standard.
Potentially, yeah. So a single set of handcuffs.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so let's cover what's in your in the backpack. So you'd probably have what, sleeping gear, and Sin, you can make the same notes on Marie. So you'd have a backpack. The backpack would have a sleeping bag, right? What else would you pack up for travels, or what would you be able to pack quickly for travel? So, sleep bags. You'd probably throw some Pokeballs in there. Let's say a dozen or so in each bag. You could probably roll a 20 or something and figure out how many you got each.
Yeah. So if I roll 20, then
Each.
Well. Okay, so I roll 20, and that's how much we each have, I would say.
No. You roll a 20 each. And that's how many he just threw in the bag. In each bag.
Well, yeah, but if she rolls badly and I roll good, it wouldn't make much sense. I would have 20, she have a 1.
Right, but maybe he
so
just
I think
threw
it would just be one roll.
I mean, it could be a case of he threw them all in one bag and then just, saw one sitting aside and threw it in the other bag.
Right.
Like, he's in a hurry.
Just saying for
he's in a hurry, so like
instead of, that I'm right now, I'm going through and I'm organizing because she's asleep.
Okay,
and
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, you can roll.
I'm not gonna wake her up.
Just roll 2 20s then and go the difference, or go the cumulative, split it.
Okay.
probably would have like a berry container of some kind. Probably some cheapy thing
Wait.
from the Pokemart.
We got 13 Pokeballs each.
Cool. So right around a dozen each. So like I said, you'd have a berry case, probably a cheapie from the Pokemart, not a fancy thing. So probably holds about 6 or 8 berries each. Because I mean, carrying berries is not. I mean, it takes up a fair bit of room. So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you probably have just some generic like orange berries or pineapple berries or something like that. Yeah, 6 each. There. What else? What else would you need? Water. You have some fresh water. Flasks, not water skin, water skins. That's what they're called. Flasks wouldn't carry enough water, but you have some water skins. One water skin each. Since fresh water isn't super easy to come by.
So a water bottle.
No, it'd be a water skin, like a half-gallon water skin each. So like each one is a day's worth of water.
How do you? Is it spelled skin like
Yeah, it's
human
just water.
skin?
Water skin, one word.
Oh, one word. Okay.
Flint and steel. You'd have some flint and steel.
Not a lighter.
I don't know
Book
that
of matches.
with fire type Pokemon being a thing in the world, I don't know that the technology would have gone past flint and steel. Like,
Well,
why invent
okay,
a lighter?
so-
Why invent a lighter when you just have one go with you? Like,
Traditional lighters are essentially just compacted flint and steel. Like it's the same exact technology. It's just in an easily.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
just a canister of gas in it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go with that. Yeah, you'd have a lighter. Help me out here. What else would you need? Survival stuff. Stuff that like somebody would throw in a bag at like they'd buy a bag at the Pokemart. They're running through the Pokemart like really fast trying to get stuff. And they're like, you know,
Any potions? Any
yeah,
Pokemon food?
So he doesn't know about the Minccino, so he wouldn't buy Minccino food. But we established Minccino would be
Right.
an herbivore, so the berries would be fine for the Minccino. Yours, on the other
Obviously,
hand, is a dog. He's a
he wouldn't-
carnivore or an omnivore. So
I
he
assumed
probably
he
grabbed.
would just grab a bag that was at the apartment
Oh. Yeah,
because he went to the apartment to get.
Yeah. he might have grabbed. Yeah,
Sweet
you can
potato.
say he grabbed some dog food.
And then, do you want me to roll for potions?
Yeah, you guys can roll for 2 sets of potions and split them evenly.
So,
Oh, he probably would have picked up some pocket knives for you guys too. You each get a pocket knife or a Leatherman or something like that.
what dice am I rolling?
Roll 2 10s. We'll see where we go from there.
Got
Well,
13.
Yeah, I was thinking you could probably get like 5 or 6 each, so that's perfect.
Yep.
6 or
Alright,
7
so we
each.
each got, are we rounding up? Are we?
Just split them like
distributing
say,
them one
you know,
off?
yeah, just distribute one up to one of you. Like she gets 7, you get 6,
Okay.
or you get 7, she gets 6, whichever.
Uh, you know, since I'm organizing it, I'd probably give myself the 7. Her the 6.
Okay.
That and potentially make more logical sense since if we do get into fights,
Right.
Sweet Potato will probably be doing more of the battling.
Mhm. Okay, here we go. So
Uh,
he probably would get you a
instead of Pocket
flashlight.
Knife.
He'd probably get you a flashlight with some batteries. Mm, Fire starter.
Any like paracord or anything like that?
Oh, that's what I was debating. Like, I can't see them not grabbing a bit of rope, but I wouldn't see them grabbing like 2 things of rope, just like 1 thing of rope.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think if we're talking rope, then yeah, probably just a thing of rope. But if we're just talking like actual travel paracord, I could see easily grabbing a pair for each.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we can go with that. We can go 2 things of paracord.
paracord.
First aid, medical supplies, which we have. Rescue signals, range.
Oh yeah, potentially some clothing. Just
Yeah. Unfortunately, I
some
don't
base.
see, like, in a rush setup, I don't see him even giving a crap about clothing. Like, you can just get in the river and fine.
Yeah, guess. But maybe an umbrella or something.
The only thing I'm
But
seeing
then
that we really didn't cover is like rations. I can see him grabbing like an equivalent of like an MRE, like a box, splitting 6 days worth of rations between the 2 packs.
Hmm.
And that's about it. Like, unless I don't see him grabbing a tent, not, yeah.
Right. And it doesn't even need to be MRE. It could just be canned perishables or
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
non-perishables.
Like, the equivalent of, like, I can't see actually. Well, you got to consider the society. So
Maybe.
the
Yeah,
society is
especially
based
since
on.
I'm a cop.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not even talking about that. Like, so the entire theme and lore is like the entire world is a bunch of travelers, or most of the world is a bunch of travelers. I mean, there's obviously people that
Mhm.
have jobs and stuff, but most everybody is a traveler of some kind. So people that if everybody's traveling into the wilderness, MRE style foods would be a popular thing at a Pokemart. So the argument
Yeah,
could be made
essentially.
that maybe he just grabbed you the equivalent of 6 days worth of MREs for each person. Because he knows you're going to be out in the wilderness for a while as you're trying to get from A to B.
Okay.
So, yeah, we'll just do that. 6 days worth of meals, which would be, assuming 2 meals a day. So you each have 12 meals in your pack. Non-perishable meals, whatever you want to call them. Oh, I would say a GPS, but I don't know if you'd want one.
Probably not. If anything, like a compass.
Yeah, like an actual map and compass. Yeah, yep. You guys got
Right.
like an actual map and compass, not a. And a berry, not a berry dex, but like a berries book thing.
Hmm.
like the physical book that shows the berries and which ones not to eat, and which ones might actually be Pokemon that'll try to kill you.
In theory, I would be relatively knowledgeable on that,
Right.
but I'm sure there's plenty of stuff in it that I didn't know as well.
Right. Well, especially where the society is like heavily based on the ability to scan and whatnot, all of your stuff, you know. So, that being said, it sounds like you guys are pretty much set up. It's pretty early in the morning. Marie's still sleeping. Not quite. Like, it's...
Mhm.
By the time you get done going through your bag, I'm going to say it's probably close to dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what you want to do at that point.
I mean, if she's still sleeping and it's still not dawn yet, I'd probably just read through the berry book or looking at the map with the flashlight, you know, away from so I don't, you know, disturb her sleep or anything, just trying to figure out where we're going.
Okay. How late would you be sleeping in?
Roll a D24.
I'm gonna sleep until 1,300 hours. So
I don't know, probably about till like 8 or 9 in the morning.
So unless
Because I would
you
imagine that's
that would
about
be
what
low.
time you'd have to get up and get going.
Yeah, that'd be a early fall. That would be, you know, probably an hour or so after dawn.
Possibly, maybe like an hour and a half or two, but pretty. I mean, it wouldn't be too bad.
Well, the thing is, you know, throughout fall, the days are gonna
Yeah, but
get
they
shorter.
Early fall, they're still very long.
Well, not too long because, you know, the first day of summer is your longest day of the year. So, once summer is over, your days are going to go back to the average time. So, I guess, you know, 6:30 would be barely light. You know, 7 to 7:30 would be actual light in my, you know, what I would consider dawn, but that just might be objectively incorrect.
I'll tell you what. Right now, the days are still getting earlier because I get up for work at 6:30, and it was dark out up until about 6:45, up to like 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
But
I
I'm
know.
saying like
I'm-
we're in summer. We're pretty close to in summer, and the days are still getting longer.
Right.
So I'm saying
well,
like
summer doesn't. Yeah, summer doesn't start until, you know, June. So the days are gonna continue to get longer until, you know, June 21st or whatever.
yeah.
Anyways, point is, she'd probably sleep through around an hour of daylight.
Yeah.
So I assume we want to skip to when she wakes up.
Well, it depends on what you're doing. in during that time? Like, are you gonna just wake her up? Or are you gonna go like start some breakfasty stuff? Or
Mm, well, I would probably inevitably waking her up a little bit earlier than 8. Not by like trying to wake her up, but feeding sweet potato and eating
and
food
then she's
myself.
got a 9-month-old in Chino.
Yeah. So, which, if possible, I would be trying to, you know,
Well, I'm just
it's a
saying,
weird
like,
middle ground. It's like I'm not trying to wake her up, but I'm not
I'm just saying she's
really
got like a baby Pokemon. The baby Pokemon is not going to
right.
be
So
sleeping in, and I feel like they would be playing or you know there'd be some interaction between the Pokemon and yours and hers.
right. So if her Pokemon were to wake up early, I would attempt to keep them, out of the way. Yeah, I'm feeding sweet potato. Oh, hey, you're up. Here's a berry.
Yeah.
Go play with this stick.
Go play this game. That's not what I wanted. That's okay.
But yeah, I'd probably feed sweet potato around 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that's enough commotion to
That would be more up
wake
to
her up or not.
Sin specifically, but like
Roll a D100. Do I wake up to the Yamper eating?
I mean, she can just decide if that would be enough to wake her up or not. Like, I don't feel like she.
I
needs
would
to-
know.
think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like probably she probably would wake up to that. I don't feel like it would be like. I don't feel like it'd be super hard to wake her up that way. Like
Yeah.
the Pokemon, the animals are like crazy in the morning sometimes, and
Yeah, so I'd probably, give her a simple good morning, rustling through one of the bags and then grabbing a meal for her. Here you go.
like that those are no longer the same size. Jasmine's movie is very loud. All right, so you guys are having breakfast. You gonna have a discussion on where you're heading out to, or what's the plan?
Well, I'd probably make mention that, where the nearest towns are and how long it would take to get there.
So we established down here was like grassland, basically, from here. I'm gonna go. A large portion of this is all grassy land. So I don't know what this city would be, or what, like right off the top of my head, what would be a good thing for it to be. But it's a main city. Now, there's going to be like traveling merchants and like, random hotels and stuff along the way. It's not just like
Mm-hmm.
it's not just like open wilderness forever, but if you're not on or near the road, you're not going to find human settlement type things. Like it'll be wild, completely wild. If you're near a road, that's where
Right.
you're going to find like buildings and stuff. Um and you'll find like traveling merchants and stuff. So basically, on the road is pretty like there's travelers going every direction all the time. So you'll bump into people all the time on the road. But once you move off the road into the wilderness, it's rare that you bump into anybody. Um, you'll mostly just be among the wild Pokemon and animals.
So how much is say the police force connected to other cities?
They're pretty interconnected. It's basically all one governing body. There's not
Okay.
there's not multiple types of
Which
government.
basically means that we're not wanting to actually go to a city.
Um, yes and no. I mean, there's still good reason to go to a city, especially like for supplies and whatnot.
Right.
But you're still gonna want to be very careful while you're near cities too. So I'm
Mm.
gonna say that this bit is like swampland, just because of where it's at on the coast. Like there's a whole bunch of like underground waterways that turns the ground into like just swamp.
And that little bit down there is gonna be where the snowy region is, and over there's where the volcano
No,
is.
the snowy region's gonna be up north, above the mountaintops.
Down there's the power plant.
Anyway, I'm just trying to fill this in and like actually have some
Right.
consistency with it. Now this is where I'm curious. Like that's far enough away from the ocean. Like it doesn't necessarily like I feel like there probably should be some water entrenching. Like this should be a waterfront village. Or like the continent, just kind of. It's like a reverse peninsula or something. Anyway,
Okay. Well,
so
given the
it's
basic landscape we're looking at, uh, I would probably uh, vote to go to the East City.
away from the oceany stuff.
Mm-hmm. So, in case we do need to head off road, it's gonna be easier for us, instead of trekking through swampland.
Right. You just want a grassy Pokemon. I see how it is.
I don't want any Pokemon.
All right,
Uh-huh.
so you're voting to go that way. What about Marie? What does Marie want to do?
I don't think Marie would really have an opinion. She hasn't ever thought about leaving home before, so she doesn't.
So like she doesn't know where she would want to go.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to go to Paris or do you want to go to Italy? Do you want to go to Sweden?
If she doesn't really have much of an idea of what she thinks would be a good way to go, especially where, like, who honestly thinks about, like, and comes up with a full plan of, like, if I ever get accused by the government, this is where I'm going to escape to.
Right.
I feel
Well,
like
as
internal
long
affairs would be a big thing in this world because of the possibility for stuff like that. But as far as so like Cairo might have some ideas, but I don't feel like
Mhm.
that's something that Marie would have considered.
Right. So I don't know if I have any connections uh, or anything like that.
Well, let's
So
just roll and see. Um, under 30, and you have some connections. Depending on how far below that you roll, you could have some really good connections.
I have 0 connections.
What'd you roll?
59.
Nice. Yeah, no, you don't have any connections. Like you might know somebody that like from like a police academy or something, but otherwise you're not counting on it.
Yeah. So in that case, it's, you know,
What
probably the easiest trail to take and
right, well
easiest
the
to
question
go
is
off the trail.
what do we want this city to have as its main bringing point? Like what brings people to this city?
Sports.
Sports. I mean, it's possible.
I I think it should be a bit on the larger side of cities, and since it's got so much grassland there that, you know, even though it's considered a wild area, they could have like big open fields. Um, not necessarily like roped off or anything like that, but you know, it's like, yep, this is where this sport game happens every, month or something.
That does not have the F in it. There you go. There's your sport. People go here.
Safari.
People go here to look at the animals. Why is this not moving? Scale. Not gonna scale. Let's size it up. Save. Aha, there we go. That's your safari area. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's gonna be pretty much surrounded by grassland because this is gonna extend that way too. Oh, wrong one. I want this. Cause like, hello. Oh, wait, what is that? Oh, That's why. My labels.
Were you trying to draw on a text layer?
Apparently I was trying to draw on a text layer.
Yeah, I don't think you could do that.
So yeah, this is gonna be like largely grassland area. So you're gonna end up dealing with a lot of like open area type Pokemon. So this would be a good place for like, not necessarily like safari hunt type things. I mean, I can say that that probably would be a thing too, though, right? Would it not?
It would be a smaller portion, I think, but it would be mostly kind of like a more of a traditional zoo aspect, except
Yeah,
or
an open world.
traditional safari. Yeah.
Yeah, an open area zoo, not like a
hmm
American zoo where everything's all trapped in.
Yeah. Potentially have a guide system
Right.
and all that.
Yep. So it would even be like the actual safari zone where you can actually catch crap too, because
Mhm.
it is Pokemon and people would want to do that. That would be a thing. So that's where you guys are going to be heading then. What do we want to call it? So this is Evolution City, which is a lame name, I know, but I came up with it off the top of my head at like a moment's notice. So, what is the city that you guys are going to be heading to?
Wild City.
Wild City? Oh.
I'm kidding. It's a terrible name.
I mean, yeah, better than calling it Zoo City.
True. Or, could go the Dragon Ball route and just call it East City.
That's true too. Fuck. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll call it East City. All right, that gives us an idea where to pick up though, and we kind of cleared up what we're doing.
Hold on, I'll come up with an actual name. Give me 2 minutes, but keep going.
But anyway, I was saying this is a good place to leave off because now we know where we're going to pick up. We need to clarify some things with the Pokemon. Like, I need to fix a couple things on the Pokemon sheets is all. Make sure they're completely filled out. And then I do want to do some practicing with the combat system again because I want to make sure that I don't forget how I had it set up because it is slightly different than what I had for the Kingdom Hearts ones. So.
Let's call it Mikado.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Mikado.
Okay. Do I have... You have admin privileges, right?
I did not know.
You do.
I think I do.
Yes.
I was talking to my mom.
Oh. I was gonna say I can set up some diary things if you guys want to do diaries or whatever. I will make notes on the story before probably tomorrow. I'll probably do it tomorrow if you guys don't want to do any journaling. If you do, then you have admin priv. You can open a journal.
I don't think it would make much sense lore-wise.
Okay.
I
mean, I could say that it would make sense because you'd want to journal or not necessarily journal, but document your travel, your experiences. That way, you could.
So I would
report it.
Be doing more of an official report kind of style thing.
Possibly.
Yeah,
the other way to look at it, not necessarily an official report style thing, but you could be doing what a lot of detectives do and planning for a book at some point. Not that that's, not that that's something.
I think if I think if Cairo were to do anything of the sort like that, I think it'd be something unexpected. Like either he's either like writing musical lyrics or just random poems.
This is just my take on Cairo, and it could be totally false, but my take would be if he did write something like that, he would overly exaggerate it to the maximum. So like he makes like notes, but then he goes through and he scribbles out his notes and like exaggerates it, and then next week when he goes through, he like scribbles them out again and exaggerates it some more. So he's like,
Kinda.
so like I could see him like this Toro ride thing. He's like, dude, I totally took on 15 of them by myself, and they were limping when I walked away. Like that kind of story.
No, not like that. It'd be more like just a bunch of fluff.
Ah,
Like it would still be very truthful uh or close to the truth at least. In what he would write, like if he's talking about something real, it would be really close to the truth, but it would just be very, a lot to describe very little.
right. I was just thinking, like, I could see him just straight up lying, be like, dude, I didn't lose that fight to the Toros. Fuck that. I won that bet. Like, but that's just my take.
I
So,
think he more owns up to his
fair.
faults.
That's
Like he
fair.
doesn't want to, but like he does.
That's fair. I could see that too. Um,
He might make excuses, but beyond that, he would
yeah.
still be like, yeah, that's what happened. It sucked.
Hmm.
So. All right.
All right. We made it all the way to 10, though. Almost.
Yeah. So, because I know I mentioned it a few times, but never got like an actual answer. Will the egg be a random
We will need to come up
Pokemon
with.
or
We will need to come up with a list of Pokemon that can come from an egg that would not be considered rodents or
so?
pests or
I
like
don't know. I don't know if I saved it, but I want to say I made
you had a
a
list of all
small
kinds,
list
yeah.
somewhere.
But I don't know if we separated out ones that are not like the
Mm,
Caterpies and stuff of the world. Like those are pests. Like most people won't take the time to. I mean, there's always going to be the biologist or something that takes interest in them. But for the most part, most people
right.
aren't going to take any interest in them. So on the same token, like whatever egg you have, it's not going to be a Pidgey and it's not going to be a Spearow because those are as close to being pest animals as you can get.
Right. So the initial thought I had of, okay, yeah, here we go.
I feel
So
like
we
we
got
lost Sin.
Bulbasaur, Krogunk, Dreepy, Froakie, Mudkip, Salandit, Wooper with a question mark, Toxel, Happiny, Charmander, Helioptile, Kecleon, Trico, Chatot, Delibird, Doduo,
These would be
Ducklet,
egg Pokemon.
yeah, SQ, Farfetch'd, Fletchling, Howlucha, Hoothoot, Magby, Murkrow, Natu, Oricorio, Pidgey, Pikipek, Piplup, Rookidee, Rowlet, Rufflet, Skarmory, Spearow, Spritzee, Starly, Swablu, Talo, Togepi, Torchic, Volibee, and Wingull. So the first half is like your reptiles, and then
amphibians.
the second half is
Birds.
the birds.
Yeah. I'd have to look at the list and then come up with like a list of which of those would be worth, like from an interest standpoint, like which ones would not be considered just generic animals, and then
Well,
go from there.
my number one pick, very obvious from the list I made because I put a note on it, is Skarmory.
See, and I could
'Cause
see that one being an interesting style Pokemon. I'm sad that there's not any like Super Eagle type Pokemon or real
a
birds of
Super
prey.
Eagle.
Well, no, eagle, like in that takes after.
Braviary.
Right. I'm saying like there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of like predatory birds that are represented.
Yeah.
Like the raptors,
I mean, you
they're
got
not
your
really represented.
Braviary. Skarmory is up there.
Yeah, we'll
I
we'll
think
look at we'll look into
the
it more when we get closer to dealing with it.
I think the Rookie D line is a predatory bird. I'd have to look to see what kind though.
Looks more like
They
a
call it
pigeon or a sparrow.
like they call it a raven. So Corvisquire is a
Yeah.
raven and Corviknight is a raven.
They look more like crows, but yeah, I could see it.
But even though they're based off of the real raven, their evolutionary line and their prowess is more of a predatory bird rather than,
See, I could see like a Santna or Helmarok being worth keeping, or a Siren.
well, those aren't real Pokemon.
Which one? Wait, what? Where did they go? None of these are.
So
Oh, those are
okay,
not.
well,
These are names. These are what they were named. Okay, I see what you're saying.
so the
So
left is Staraptor. I forgot about Staraptor. Oh, so yeah, they are real. Just some of them look a little funky.
yeah, that's not their actual names either. I was like, I don't remember. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
So they're
So this one would
all
be
shiny, or most
a
of them shiny?
Talonflame.
Yeah, Talonflame is another
See, a Talonflame,
predatory
I could
pest bird.
see, like I could see keeping that because it's not just a pest bird, but
Mhm.
um,
So
yeah.
Staraptor, Braviary, Skarmory, um,
That is such a fucking stupid mechanic, by the way.
let me see, do I still have it open? Here we go. Who else would be good?
Hawlucha. Oh, just kidding.
Right, I mean, it's an option. Uh,
I mean, there's nothing saying we couldn't give you one of the legendary birds as an egg. It only
True.
takes 30 million years for them to hatch, but
Other notable ones would be Torchic and
mhm.
Rowlet, in the bird category, or Froakie and Mudkip and Bulbasaur in the reptile amphibian section, but
Yeah.
or even Charmander, but it's the and Trico. Lots of starters in here.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, it's a normal starter, so everyone's seen that and everything. Oh yeah, Piplup's down here too. Although Piplup doesn't get enough love, even though he was a pretty relevant character in Diamond and Pearl
Mhm.
anime.
What is the difference between the male and female starling?
How long their hawk is? Maybe I can look it up real quick here.
I'm just wondering because like it's got male, female here, male, female here, male, female here, and they look the exact same.
Yeah, I have an app, so shouldn't be that hard to figure out. Well, Starly can't really figure out. Let's go to Staravia.
Is that a real
Oh,
Pokemon?
you know.
What the fuck?
Yes, that's an Oricorio. It's got 4 different forms based off of what dance style it's in. So, go back. So
Where did he
open that.
go? Where did he go? Oh, there he is. That?
So scroll down bottom right of suggestions. That one.
This
Bottom
one?
right. All the way bottom.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, that one. So that has all 4 styles.
Oh. Hmm. Yeah, it's something we'd have to look into. I don't know right now what the answer would be, but definitely something I have to look into. Some of these designs are just garbage.
Where's the...
Anyway, I'm gonna go talk to my wife and figure out what we're doing, and then probably either go to bed or play a couple matches of League, and then go to bed. So
Okay.
we will talk next week.
Oh, okay. I think I figured it out. So the difference for Staravia at least is its forehead has like a light spot. So the female has a smaller forehead. As for Starly, looks to be, yep, the same thing.
The forehead.
So it's a very minor difference. And it's the same thing with Staraptor. He's got like a white dot under his mohawk, and it's bigger for males.
Weird.
Yep.
Oh, that is a shitty evolution line.
Hmm.
This do you have my thing pulled up still? So
Yeah.
this guy, like, he's a little
Take it back.
sparrow, huh?
Pick it back.
Oh, he's like a little,
It's
he's like a little finch, and then he turns into like a.
So he's a woodpecker.
Yeah, like a woodpecker, and then he's a pelican. Like what? That is a
No, he's
shitty
toucan.
fucking. Oh yeah, toucan. It's a shitty evolution line.
Cannon.
Yeah, he's a toucan. He his beak is a cannon.
God. Well, it's like Wingull into Pelipper. That pissed me off when they first did that because like he's a seagull, he turns into a fucking pelican. Like that doesn't even make sense. At least with
Yeah,
these, at least
but
with some of these, they keep like a pretty similar bird type. Like you have your pigeon that turns into. I mean, he's still a pigeon, but he's a predatory pigeon. Turns into a more predatory pigeon. This, the
yeah. I think
Spearow.
the issue that they want to avoid is doing stuff like Pidgeot and Pidgeot because yeah, you can see more of a difference nowadays in the two of them, but
Yeah,
like
Pidgeotto used to have more
there's
flair than the Pidgeot. Yeah, I get that.
like there used to be like not a whole lot you could easily get them confused, especially with their names
Well,
not
but I mean,
making
you look at the
much
Starly.
sense.
You look at the Starly line. That makes sense. So does what I don't know what this one is.
That would be Pidove to Tranquil into Unpheasant.
Yeah, like they kind of make sense, like form wise. Like this
I don't
is a
know.
big leap.
Pidove
This is a
into
big leap.
yeah.
Like there, but otherwise it's
I
not
would say
bad.
it's the I would say it's the same type of leap between
The
the
woodpecker
second and
and the
third for Toucanon.
yeah.
It like there's some it color scheme, its
Well,
general
the problem
motif is similar, but
the problem
it is
is
a
this one,
sleeping
this
species.
one. The problem is this one, this one, this one, and this one, all are basically the same um chick. Like all of them are the same chick, but that they like take this wild leap into some other bird form. This one, they start off
Right.
as a chick that kind of falls into the same bird form and then completely changes bird form. Like that doesn't make any sense. And even
It's
with this new
Darwinism
one,
at its finest.
and even with this new one that they threw in, like it starts as the same kind of chick as all these other ones, but then it like takes its own form, which is fine. But this Toucanon jump, like they did the jump backwards. This should be some kind of toucan as well, not a woodpecker. And for
I don't know.
matter, they could change the beak on this one and make it some kind of baby toucan.
I feel like there's not a whole lot you can do with the toucan design, which is kind of why they did it that way. In my personal opinion, I don't know.
Oh, there's plenty of toucans they could model after.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of
They could have done. They could
different
have done.
colors and everything.
Well, it's not even just that. Like this one has flare. Like there's flare. You can do.
Mm-hmm.
They could keep the right body shape and not like make this gigantic cross species leap.
I think if they really wanted to go route, they should have given a smaller version of what we know as Toucanon to Trilbeak, or I think that's his name.
Drumbeak.
But then Trumbeak thing, yeah. But Toucanon Beak should have literally been an actual cannon,
Yeah.
like a Blastoise cannon.
Oh, by the
That
way,
would've
did you
been
see Mega
fucking
Blastoise or
amazing.
not Mega? Gigantamax Blastoise or Dynamax Blastoise or whatever.
I
Yeah, it's
think I
Gigantamax.
have. I don't remember what it looks like.
It's pretty dumb. Look at all those
Hmm.
cannons. Here you go. This is a better picture. We're gonna
I
give our
love it.
cannons.
I think the Venusaur looks funny too.
I didn't see.
You know, scroll down. It's down there. You can just other side, on the left side if you scroll. It's right there.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
What is the Charizard? Is it?
Oh, the Char's is right there. He was in the base game.
Yeah. Well, the Dynamax Charizard
Whereas-
was.
No, the Gigantamax Charizard.
Gigantamax was in it from the base.
Oh,
Yeah, because Leon has a Charizard.
I thought that was just
Whereas
Dynamax.
the other two, no. Whereas the other two got theirs,
in the expansion.
I guess in build. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
Kind of the same treatment as the Mega Blaziken, and then the other two getting Mega forms later.
I don't like. I enjoy what Pokemon has done with a lot of their stuff. There's a lot of things that I'm like, what? Who put who in charge? Because somebody's getting fired, or at least should. Like, there's a lot of things where I'm like, why was this a design choice? For example,
To be
the
different.
popsicle or the ice cream cone or the
You don't
trash
know
bag. I don't know what.
the story with the ice cream cone Pokemon is they said, "Here, America, you can make a Pokemon," and they went ice
Yeah, so
cream.
half of Generation 5's Pokemon are designed by the American team. Which is hilarious because the most funny thing is that Garbodor and Trubbish are designed by the American team, whereas Braviary, the badass eagle that represents America with red, white, blue color scheme, is designed by Japan.
Yeah, I always heard it said as they were like, "Why did you do this? This is what you could have done."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just the design choices just blow me away. Like I feel like most of the game is like, okay, we have this concise working world that we're gonna just like we're gonna fill in these niche spots that there's still an opening for. Like, oh, we don't have a good pest or a good, apex predator or something. They fill in these gaps, and then they're like, we can fit an ice cream cone. Like, I feel like they're adding to the wrong game here. I feel like
I don't
somebody
know.
should have veto
But
power that's like, dude, stop it. You're fucking this shit up. Stop it.
to be honest, I think the ice cream Pokemon get way too much flack for what it is.
I mean,
Because
their entire evolutionary
oh,
line is I'm going to get eaten by humans and other Pokemon, and I'm going to be okay with it.
except it's not actual ice cream. It's you can equate it to because in its Pokédex entry, it straight up says that it's not really ice cream. It does it to or makes it look like it's ice cream, so it looks more attractive to people. I can't remember if it's actually dangerous to eat or anything, or if it's just ice. But it's just to look more attractive, essentially. So
I just always think of the 6th-gen episode where they're like, "Hey, this ice cream Pokemon wandered into town. To celebrate, we're gonna make ice cream that looks like it and eat it."
yeah, that's a little fucked up, honestly. But then again, they make like we kind of do the same thing, making food that appears to be like animals,
Well, it's
and
usually
then
because we
you
eat
get
that
into the
animal.
right, and then you get into the moral quandary of like, well, if it's fucked up to eat something that looks like the animal, is it more fucked up or less fucked up than eating the animal? So,
I just,
point is,
I feel
I think they
like,
could have done better,
yeah,
but
I
it
feel like what
is it's a very unique design, and it has a reason. It's got its place, and uh,
I
I don't know. It's
feel
just
like there needed
different.
to be somebody who actually sat and was like, dude, stop. This is a dumb idea. Stop. Like there's not a person that did that, and I feel like there should have been.
Let me pose the or even really
Why
pose the
why
question.
is
People are upset about the ice cream Pokemon, but I want to say a lot of people were interested and still like the new Alcremie Pokemon, which is
I don't like
based off
Alchemy
of
either.
cake.
I don't like Trubbish. I don't like Alchemy. I don't like um the cherry looking guy or the apple guy.
Cherry.
Or the apple one.
I don't know. It makes sense. Because there's plenty of animals that will look like food
Yeah, I
to
could
other
like.
animals.
So I don't hate the cherry or the apple. Like I don't hate them because there's an argument that can be made for that evolution, like that to actually happen in some form of evolutionary quasi whatever.
Hmm.
What I hate is like humans have been around for 1,000 years, and somehow in that 1,000 years, these Pokemon have evolved to perfectly match something that we manually created. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't happen. Like an
Okay.
animal just
Neither
randomly
do
evolves to look like a
okay.
trash bag
Not,
so we can throw it away.
but animals don't randomly evolve in real life either. Like that argument just says Pokemon should not evolve because that doesn't happen.
I think that there with the canon for Pokemon, the actual spontaneous evolutions like that works fine. But the randomly like I'm just going to come into existence and look like a human creation. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like I can't come up with an argument where that works. That's where I'm struggling. Like,
Well, it's a combination. It's
well, especially
using
like
real evolution. So, Applin, that, apple pie guy there, probably didn't really look all too much like that
does he actually
a
turn
long
into
time
these?
ago. Yeah,
What?
either that or you get into a very funny chicken or egg question of which came first. Did the Pokemon actually evolve into what looks like apple pie because of its appeal to apple pie and everything? Or did people in the Pokemon world start making apple pies that look like that because it resembles the Pokemon?
That's that disturbs me
Did ice cream
deeply.
exist before Vanillish was a thing? And they're like, oh, this looks
Yes.
attractive. Let's make something
Yes.
that looks like that and make it
Because
food.
in the first series they were eating ice cream.
Well, yeah, but in the first series, still Vanillish in a different continent. Get into this really weird retcon scenario of like,
Yeah.
well, do they actually exist? Do they actually know about these things?
Question over which is the
Was
first.
You what?
right. So was the first ice cream cone invented because the person saw Vanillish, but not
Right.
everyone
I
knows the
like I can
backstory?
see that argument. I still don't like it still doesn't fix the trash bag idea. Like did we invent a
It's
trash bag because of Trubbish? I don't think so. I think that's how trash bags.
no, that's a just like Grimer. It's a man-made Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that's only existed ever since man. Grimer and Coffee are byproducts of man evolution. Sewage and smog animated into animals. Same thing with Trubbish. It's just instead of sewage and smog, it's now an actual trash bag filled with trash that has now become a living, breathing animal.
I still struggle with that. Like as a from a design aspect, as a design as a product designer, I can't see the argument working that way.
I don't know. I just think that if you want to complain about a trash bag, then that's all you can complain about because it's no different from Grimer besides that. Like you can personally just dislike the design and that's perfectly fine, but to go out of your way of saying that it doesn't make sense or anything is like, well, a lot of Pokemon don't make any sense. And a lot of Pokemon that don't make any sense have really cool designs, and you're not complaining about them. But the empirical I'm not, throwing
Right.
you under the
No,
bus.
I see where you're going. I struggle. Like you've made the best argument I've heard for most of it. But
Mhm.
I still don't know that I agree with any of it, and especially as someone who dabbles in design, like I
Mhm.
feel like there
Like
should have
it's
been a veto. I feel like there's a lot of these that should have been a veto,
which
especially knowing how some of the things that they've turned down that were like that could have been a far better design than what you actually came up with. Like,
it's that's a very valid point. I mean, there's plenty of things that go on behind the scenes, what can get in and what doesn't get in. It's not all simply, yep, we like this design, so we're gonna add it. Nope, we don't like this design, so we're not gonna add it. So
yeah, there should have
why did
been
Trubbish get in? Not whatever, who knows?
right.
Why did Blaziken and Latios become two separate Pokemon when originally they were presented as one? I have no clue.
Yeah.
But it's I personally think at least with a majority, like a 99.9% of Pokemon at least, if not all of them,
I feel like
have some sort of reason of why they look the
yeah.
way they do.
I feel like
Whether it
90-ish% keep the suspension of disbelief. Like I don't disagree with most of them. I don't like all of the designs. Like I
Mhm.
really hate that a lot of the dog Pokemon are like canine-esque and are on 4 feet, and they like I really like that. I don't like the dogs that are up on 2 feet and have humanoid bodies, but I don't think that they were poor designs. Like I don't I can see why they made the design choice to do that. I don't like it myself, but
this
I
man
can't argue that
this
it's
man
bad.
just said he doesn't like Lucario.
I don't like from a
My
mechanics
mistake.
standpoint. From a mechanics standpoint, it's fine. Like I don't think mechanically it's a bad Pokemon. I don't like that they made him more cartoony and humanoid than the other dogs. Like it's not. I feel like they're
I
crossing
th-
genres. Is my biggest problem. I feel like
I
they're
think
not
with
keeping true to their design genre.
I think the thing with Lucario is an interesting topic, honestly, because I can kind of see what you're getting at because um, even though you didn't say it, I think you mean it. That's like it seems weird that uh, these Pokemon that we would consider the inspiration to be all of the same species, just different breeds, having these wildly different traits to them,
Hmm.
which makes sense in a certain degree. You could argue, though, that, yes, a Chihuahua and a Husky are the same species, but different breeds,
Hmm.
yet they look nothing like each other. Yes, they both walk on all
Right.
fours,
But what I'm saying, like,
but beyond that, there's practically nothing
yeah, but your
similar about
Chihuahua is
them.
not going to randomly turn into a Husky either, and vice versa.
No, but I do think that Lucario is an interesting exception because he's not necessarily a dog. He's specifically based off of Jackal and loose um inspiration from, say, Anubis, who
Right. No,
is a
I don't
two
like I
is
said,
a
I don't disagree
bipedal
with
jackal.
his I don't disagree with his design. So Lucario versus give me so this is your dog design. Like
Hmm.
very realistic features, very like okay, so the mane is overdone, the fur is overdone, but it's not like you're not breaking
It's got
no
it's got
no
motifs of fire, so
Yeah, you're not breaking known physics or cartoonifying anything here, really. Like, if anything, you can say the hair is partly cartoonified, but for the most part, the anatomy of the Pokemon is very much what we know and love. And you can say that about Arcanine. You can say that about any of the evolutions. You can say that about any of the four-legged dog Pokemons, like Lillipup. You know, Lilipup. Like it, the anatomy is still very much there of
Hmm.
what you're looking at. But then you look at Lucario, like this. They took this idea, cartoonified it, and then humanized it, and then they called it a thing. Like I don't think it's a bad design. Like they did really well with it mechanically and whatnot, and they made it work out. Um, but like they didn't keep any of the same stuff between their two products. Like they totally changed what they're producing here. Like, and I
Well,
don't
yeah,
think
'cause
I don't
I
think
don't
I
I
don't
don't
think that
think
it's bad.
Lucario is considered a dog Pokemon.
Yeah, he is. He comes
Like,
up in every dog Pokemon thing.
okay, but what I'm saying is like, as a you know, in the world of Pokemon, Lucario
Right.
is not a dog.
No, this creature would actually be considered of higher intelligence than any of the dog Pokemon.
Right. He can actually, uh, certain Lucarios can actually speak or use telepathy.
Right. Which is
Um,
misleading because he's not a psychic Pokemon.
no, but it's
But
all
what I'm
because of
saying
his
is
aura.
like I don't think that this is a bad design. I don't think that this Pokemon was designed poorly in any way. I think
Mhm.
what my problem is they funded into this design style. They stuck to it. They did really well with it. And then they're like, "Man, we're just going to break the rules and do this instead."
And I don't see what rules they broke, honestly, because their clear goal was not to make a dog Pokemon with Lucario. They want to make a Pokemon based off of Anubis and Jackal, which would, make him a bipedal creature.
I I struggle with it. I struggle with the this. It's a design change. It's not that, like I said, it's not that it was bad. It's not that it was
Hmm.
horrible or whatever. It's a completely different take on an entire line
I mean,
of
Midnight Lycanroc is in a similar boat, and that one
to
I
some
would
degree.
assume irks you more
Yeah,
because
I
it's a
actually won't. I won't
quadrupedal
invite.
into a bipedal.
I won't evolve my Lycanroc into the bipedal. But they did the same thing with Snubble too. That's another one that bothered. I hate Snubble. I always hated Snubble.
Well,
I thought she
Snubble's
was a fucking
yeah.
bull Pokemon, like a not a bulldog, like an actual bull. I always thought she was like a bull, and then come to find out she's a bulldog. And I'm like, no, get her out of my fucking category.
Yeah, whenever I see a Snubble now, I'm only reminded of the movie The Power of Us.
I don't know that movie.
It's my favorite Pokemon movie.
Yeah.
I went to see it in theaters twice.
Yeah.
It was
See.
it was actually funny because it was like limited showings, like only one showing a day for like
Mm.
uh
See what
7
they
days
should
in a
have
row
done.
or something.
What they should have done here is they should have done daylight and midnight and fuck that guy.
But yeah, I watched it like the first day showing with my stepmom and sisters, and then I went home to my mom later that week and basically told her step by step how the movie went and why I loved it so much and why it's now like my new favorite Pokemon movie and everything. And she's like, "Wow, that sounds really good. Now I want to go watch it." And I'm like, "We can. Tomorrow's the last showing." And she's like, "All right, let's do it." So yeah,
This evolutionary line irks me more than the Lucario one.
I think it makes a lot of sense, especially since it's a psychic Pokemon.
Not if you're gonna start her on 2 feet. Start her on 4, or start her on 2, not 4. If that's what you're gonna do, if that's the design choice you're gonna make, start her on
Well,
2.
that's so the thing is, Fennekin is just a flat fire type, and then gains the psychic typing later. Oh, it makes. I think if anything, the argument is why doesn't Braixen have psychic type? Because I want to say the middle form is pure fire as well.
That's a sin question. I don't know. I would like
But if,
when I picked Fennekin, I took her out of my party until I had an Everstone. Because I would not fucking evolve her.
I think my main issue is just I don't like the design of Delphox.
Yeah, I don't like the design
Like
of Delphox.
it's a weird design. Like there's some good things about it, but then there's a lot of things I don't really like about it. And I think Breaks is uh a weird exception to the middle child rule. Because a
Mhm.
lot of starters, their middle form Pokemon look absolute shit and compared to the
Yeah.
first form and final form.
Mhm.
Like your first form, cute. Your middle form, ew. Your final form, cool.
Right. It's like Charmander, Charmeleon. Like Charmander, okay, I can buy into this. Charmeleon,
Charmeleon
you got more
is
red.
not bad. Yeah, Charmeleon's not too bad. He's a bit
Mhm.
you know.
It's like
Like
you
you said, he's
evolved.
just
Could you
more
tell?
red. He's like a little taller, he's redder, he's got, this hornish like thing,
Right.
bigger claws, yeah, it's nothing special.
Right. And then he turns into Charizard, and it's like, wait, I did not see that coming in anyway.
Yeah, he grows wings and a second horn thing,
Right.
a big maw. It's like cool.
My problem. I think my problem with the design choices is mostly like they cross back and forth with this purely total animalistic to not really animalistic and go back and forth with it. Like even just the starters here, the Chespin versus the Froakie Fennekin, they start with two very animalistic creatures that are that very much into their animal design side, and then they're like, well, we kind of like we fucked a duck on this one, and we're okay with it.
Well, Chespin's based off of an otter, so he's not
Yeah, I
too
would
far off
never
of.
have guessed that because he never is on all fours or swims.
Well, I say otter because his design is strikingly similar to Oshawott, who is an otter. But I don't know if he is something else that looks similar to an otter or what, but I always just think of it as a weird otter or
Yeah, I don't
something along those lines.
like I said, I don't like the continuous back and forth of like we're humanizing these guys, we're animalizing these guys, we're humanizing these guys. Like I can't.
And
I don't like the back and forth. Like I
I
like the
think
animalistic ones very much.
it all can be explained based off of that one quote from Diamond and Pearl that at one point in time, Pokemon and people were the same thing and indistinguishable from each other.
It's the Ditto argument.
The Ditto argument?
The fan theory is that all Pokemon evolved from Ditto. Ditto was the first Pokemon, and all
I'm not
Pokemon.
talking about that at all. And Ditto is not the first Pokemon at all. In fact, the most popular thing about Ditto is that Ditto's failed Mewtwo experiments. That
I'm talking fan theory,
before
not canon. The fan theory is that the first Pokemon evolved from Ditto, and Ditto continues to like that's why
I've
the
never
form
heard
changes.
that fan
And
theory. Or common fan theory is that Ditto is failed Mew clones, because
That's the one
that's
I've
not
heard.
canon, and it's actually not disproven, but just flat out said no, that's not true by some Pokemon representatives. Or I don't know if they actually said no, but they've called it a coincidence or something along those lines. It's like, oh yeah, that's just there's no meaning behind any of that. It's just Ditto and yeah. But the point is that it is in fact canon that, you know, Pokemon and people all used to be the same thing at one point, and some evolved into humans and some evolved into different species of Pokemon.
there's
So it wouldn't be too far off to think, well, some of them gained some more human features, but stuck with what we know as Pokemon, given us Gardevoir and
I haven't heard
Lucario
anything
and
that
like that.
confirms that humans used to be Pokemon. I've heard a lot of stuff where
There's
there's
lines in
I've heard a lot of stuff
in the
where there's like a not like a semi-religious group or whatever in the games that theorize that, but I've never heard any confirmation.
there's a line in Diamond and Pearl that literally says it outright. Let me see if that pulls it up. Of course not. I found the Japanese screenshots. And the Japanese translation said that they used to get married. So I think that's it, because I misremembered. So in the Japanese text, it specifically says that Pokemon and people got married. But in the English text, they say there once were humans and Pokemon that ate together at the same table. It was a time when there existed no differences to distinguish the two. So yeah.
That creates a bunch of implications because they don't know how Pokemon mate, but
That's just, you know, Game Freak not, you know, wanting the game to be PG. So they act dumb.
I really wish they'd just reboot it with some more veto power and a little bit of discretion. They don't even have to really call it Pokemon.
They did that. It's called Yokai Watch.
What?
Do you not know what Yokai Watch is?
No.
So it literally goes back to the roots of what like the initial Pokemon concept was to a certain degree, because they even have like bug collecting in the game,
Hmm.
which was one.
Is it made by the Pokemon Company?
Yeah, or it's made by
It's a 3DS game.
I want to say it's Game Freak or no, cause okay, it's level 5, but it is Nintendo.
Eh.
But the point is that it has a lot of similarities with the original concept of Pokemon, including how one of the reasons why Pokemon was created the way it was because the creator wanted to basically capture the same feeling